After England defeated the French at the Battle of Bremule, Normandy was back in King Henry's hands. But 1 year later, his good fortune turned to tragedy. In 1120, his son and heir William Adelin died in a shipwreck. The future of Henry I's kingdom was in jeopardy. Henry desperately needed a new heir. With no legitimate sons left alive, he broke with tradition and chose his daughter, Matilda. Henry forced his barons to swear an oath to accept Matilda as queen. But when the king died, they broke their promise. England would not be ruled by a woman. Matilda's cousin Stephen saw his chance and claimed the throne. The crisis moved to the capital. At Westminster Abbey, Stephen was crowned king, but Matilda wanted what was hers. She was also lining up powerful supporters who would fight Stephen for her right to rule. Their conflict engulfed England in civil war. Fighting raged throughout the land. In 1141, everything focused on one of the kingdom's most strategic cities, Lincoln. Matilda's allies had commandeered the castle. But King Stephen was determined to take it back. He besieged the castle. Stalemate. As dawn broke on February the 2nd, everything was about to change. Matilda's half-brother, Robert of Gloucester, raced to break the siege. As Robert's forces approached Lincoln, Stephen's army turned away from the castle to face them. Robert could win Matilda the crown, but only if his army could win the day. Robert of Gloucester's forces approached Lincoln. Their task, to liberate the castle from King Stephen's siege. While behind Lincoln's walls, troops loyal to Matilda held the castle for the Empress. First, Robert's forces would stage an ambush to prevent enemy reinforcements from joining with King Stephen's army. Robert's men concealed themselves in a sheltered grove and lay in wait for the enemy. Robert defeated the first column of Stephen's reinforcements, but he knew more were on the way.
Taketh op thine armes, and shanka forth over. Which du so du hättest. Terma away to fahren.
Ik ga weer fouten het gebouw!
When they do day?
It's for Fefines.
Bitte das Wahrheit.
Mensen, ze zijn er weer bij!
With more of Stephen's reinforcements eliminated, Robert was steadily undermining the siege.
It's so a hessa aliante. We ben geen gandij. It's so a hessa aliante. Essa shouldn't be here.
Robert's men decimated King Stephen's reinforcements and were poised to break the siege. Continuing the push towards Lincoln, Robert sent in a large company of reinforcements to aid his vanguard. To further weaken the siege, Robert would need to cut off Stephen's supplies. He targeted the nearby market town.
Not sleeping. We haven't been
Intended threats. Vollende hestes.
Ik ga weer fouten het gebouw! En veranderen!
Matilda's cause, a large group of knights arrived at Lincoln to bolster Robert's army.
Sail the boat!
With the market town in ruins, King Stephen's supplies began to dwindle. Robert received word that Welsh troops under Matilda's banner were en route to join forces with him. But King Stephen had the roads to Lincoln heavily guarded, and the route was not without risk, even for the hardy Welshmen. Making their way to Lincoln, Matilda's Welsh allies were ambushed by the king's soldiers. Robert's men would need to aid the Welsh if they wanted their help in breaking the siege. Forces on the road to Lincoln, Matilda's allied troops made for the castle to lift the siege.
But mean a word.
Robert's forces spotted a large detachment of Stephen's soldiers guarding the castle gates. If they hoped to liberate Lincoln, they would need to break the blockade and rout the army. Robert's forces scattered the king's army, leaving the gates to the castle unguarded. Robert's men finally united with Lincoln's garrison. They could now use the castle to strengthen their army. To lift the siege, they needed to destroy the enemy camps surrounding the castle.
Fortfarande fräckes mit Baldenes. Sultas.
It's down the foe!
What needeth be undone?
Safe to Hestes.
Quarum, sir, Freckes hoc, nu Hestes, tit dwindleth, ferreth, each will. Yahweh Shelton, Hestes and odd Mormon. Periende Hestes nu, dresseth Yahweh, steppeth to it, Arleman.
Sealy. Yare to dot.
Every charm and tandem. Yeah, sueth they hatton.
Hiereth Hestes, Asteriath, Rathe Arlemen, each will.
See they to work.
See they to worker. It killed see they to worker. It killed Habby.
What needeth be undone? You can build thee that for that.
This shula ut do they
See they to work.
needeth be undone?
Hurry, what needeth work?
What needeth be undone?
Yet is he ready for fortfarande fräckes mit Baldenes.
Beyond this outlet! Avoid it!
Matilda's forces struck hard, destroying one of King Stephen's siege camps. King Stephen's army dwindled as Matilda's forces struck down another siege camp.
Ich habe gefunden den Bau!
The king's army was scattered, and those who didn't fall fled. King Stephen was spotted, shielded by his men. To end the siege, Matilda's forces needed to capture Stephen and rout his army.
It is Sieg und redet nun, Tulkes. Claw, surface. Banner on the loaded.
Seat thee to work,
Harkeneth alle. Ja, ready to done some work.
Arita, what needeth worker?
See thee to work. You go have that. What needeth be undone? Till then they that
Seat thee to worker. And sit your building, what needeth be undone? Build them they that, yare to done some work. If you're having that, yare to done some work.
what needeth be undone. You go build thee that for the
What needeth be undone? If you'll build they that,
yeah, ready to done some work. Till then they that break.
Arita, what needeth worker?
Arita, what needeth work? You go have that he built.
Seat thee to worker.
This Shula Undure May.
If you're having that, he's building or not.
Saddle on the ready! Die Crossbows, ja, Crossbows! Hey, und das Arwe schon!
Reader, away Pende Hestes. Hestes van What shall each do? Jefe mea puta! Freckes! Freckes! Intended no. That will be on. Ex Mechester, Ferret. Outridender.
Accursed ambush attended!
Matilda's men closed in and finally captured King Stephen. Matilda's forces had won the battle at Lincoln. But the fight for the crown was not over yet. A counterweight trebuchet was the king of all siege engines. A catapult capable of smashing down castle walls from great distances. At Warwick Castle in England, they've built a replica, one of the largest in the world. Originating in 7th century China, by the 13th century, trebuchets had evolved into devastatingly powerful weapons.
Such a simple design, but so effective.
It has several key features. A pivoted arm with a weight at one end, and a sling to hold the projectile at the other. To prime, the 6-ton weight is raised using tread wheels.
So this is one of the wheels, one of two that's attached to an axle, which would lift the counterweight, weighing 6 tons. It's based on muscle power alone. What's essential about launching a projectile as far as possible is making sure that this end of the arm is moving as fast as possible. So once that weight drops, it really sends this point of the arm moving at its highest velocity.
This was done by positioning the pivot close to the counterweight and by launching the projectile from a sling. When released, the sling whips round, vastly increasing the launch speed. Trebuchets were carefully aimed, like modern guns.
In order to weaken the castle walls or even breach them, you had to make sure that the projectiles hit the same spot every single time.
For each projectile to follow the same trajectory, they all had to be the same weight and shape. To achieve this, masons used a gauge.
Now I'm going to load this projectile into the sling. Oh, this one must weigh about 25 kilograms, but some projectiles can get up to 150 kilograms. That's the weight of 2 men.
Trebuchets were also used to throw burning tar, beehives, even dead bodies. Anything to cause maximum distress to the enemy.
Did you hear that whoosh?
It was the counterweight trebuchet's lethal combination of power and accuracy that made it the ultimate medieval siege weapon.